Switchblades.tv presents available at assistedknife.com. Roadsideimports.com presents the Butterfly knife, known as the Balisong or the Batangas knife. It is a folding pocket knife with two handles which counter-rotate around a tang such that when closed the blade is concealed completely within the grooves of the handle. There are two main types of Balisong butterfly construction: sandwich construction and channel construction. Sandwich construction Balisongs are assembled in layers that are generally pinned or screwed together. They allow the pivot pins to be adjusted tighter without binding when the knife is closed and the blades rest between the layers. With channel construction Balisongs, the main part of each handle is formed from one piece of metal. In the handle, a groove is created either by folding, milling, or being cast, in which the blade rests when the knife is closed. This style is regarded as being stronger than sandwich construction. The term Balisong is not entirely clear. A popular belief is it derived from two words from the Tagalog language. The words baling sangga, which literally mean broken horn, as the original Balisongs from the Philippines were made from carved animal horns. The Balisong is enriched with the people of Filipino society. They've been used to fight duels over matters of honor, although such practices have been discontinued for decades. Batangas actually is a region of the Philippines, and Balisong is a barrio in Batangas. But let's explore the butterfly knife. The French claim to have invented the butterfly knife design, and the oldest dated evidence supports this in a French book clearly showing a sketch of the Balisong design. The book Le Perret was published in 1710. A copy can be seen at the Museum of Thiers in France. This book, clearly dated 1710 and clearly French, really tends to indicate that the Balisong originated in France in the late 1600s or early 1700s. It clearly disproves the popular myth that the Balisong was invented in the Philippines in the 1900s. Assuming the Balisong was invented in France, it would probably have spread throughout Europe, including into Germany, England, and Spain. There is a piece by Bontjen and Sabin, an English-German company, which has a tang stamp DRGM over 1867. DRGM would indicate Germany, and 1867 would make this one of the oldest Balisongs, which again shatters any dreams that the Balisong originated in the Philippines in the 1900s. There's also Bontjen and Sabin Balisong knife that appears in the B&S's 1895 catalog. There's also a Spanish Balisong, which the tang stamp says España over MDCCCXCV, which is the Roman numeration for 1895. There is also a Balisong made of sterling silver from a Mr. William Morton. Now the knife is fully developed, has a functional lap, the blade has a tang pin, and the handles have pockets. Williams, who made this knife, knew exactly what he was doing. He had the design down, and it definitely wasn't the first Balisong that he made. The knife was made in England. The handles were solid sterling silver. The silver handles have their silver hallmarks, which tell quite authoritatively who made the piece, where, and most importantly for our purposes here, when it was made. These symbols were legally standardized and registered, and those records survive to this date. The WM hallmark is registered to a William Morton. He made the knife. The crown is the standard symbol and telling us the purity of the silver. The lion is the registered mark of the Rockingham Works in Sheffield, England, and the last symbol, the stylized D, is the standard symbol that dates the piece, which is 1873. So that also shatters the idea that the Balisong was invented in the Philippines in 1905. Assuming that the Balisong was invented in Europe and eventually came to be used in Spain is not unreasonable, and suggests that the Spanish sailor might have taken the Balisong knife to the Philippines, which was at that time a Spanish colony, is quite plausible. In the Philippines, the Balisong quickly found popular acceptance. it was also quickly integrated into Filipino combative arts. The Filipino arts have long integrated weapons including knives, and the Balisong fits in very well with the Filipino styles. You can even look back to an English patent issued to a German cutlery firm, Bontigen and Sabin, on April 12, 1880, which describes the Balisong pretty well in full detail. Folding knives have many practical advantages. Basically, a folding knife is easier and safer to carry than a fixed blade, but most folding knife designs require some sort of spring. The Balisong is a folding knife that is simple to make from a simple material and requires no spring. So furthermore, it is a great folding design since once locked open, it's virtually as strong and reliable as a fixed blade. So it's not surprising that the Filipinos recognized the advantages of the Balisong and quickly adopted it. So the going theory is the design originally came from the French, but was picked up by their friends the Spanish, and I suspect the Spanish sailor brought the first Balisong to the Philippines, and the Filipinos quickly adopted it. Now you might ask, why would a Spanish sailor prefer a Balisong knife? The answer is that many early Balisongs, such as the Spanish early piece that I spoke of, have brass handles that fully cover their steel blades. Steel can generate a spark if struck against certain other materials. Brass is naturally non-sparking. The sailors who preferred Balisong knives were those who tended the cannons. To tend and operate cannons, you need a knife to open crates of balls and kegs of powder, cut the fuse material, and cannons fire with gunpowder. The last thing you want around gunpowder is an unexpected spark, so the brass handles covering the blade were a safety precaution to prevent sparks. And that is, I suspect, how the Spanish sailor came to be carrying a Balisong knife when he arrived in the Philippines. Some people think it was probably an American serviceman returning from World War II who brought a Filipino Balisong back to America. But the oldest American production Balisong were from the Hemming Cutlery Company of New Haven, Connecticut, and predate even World War I, so the Hemmings Cutlery started producing Balisongs in 1905. Again, a bit more evidence that the Balisong was not invented in the Philippines in 1905. So while it may have easily been that some American servicemen brought Balisongs back to America, they probably bought them back from Europe. Available at assistedknife.com. Got questions? I got answers. Email me at jb@roadsideimports.com